Prime, the drink company owned by Logan Paul and KSI, is being sued by the Olympic Committee. And this is definitely going to be a problem for Prime because this lawsuit does not look good for them. So Prime released a drink called the Kevin Durant Prime. And on the bottle, it says 3 times Olympic gold medalist and counting. And the Olympic Committee did not like this at all. They called it willful, deliberate, and in bad faith, which are not good things to see in a lawsuit. And on top of that infringement, there's also an infringement on a website called Candy Cave. Now, I don't know if this is an authorized reseller for Prime, but on the website, it says this: celebrate greatness with Kevin Durant Olympic Prime drink. And this one is, in my opinion, way worse than the one in the bottle because it says Olympic Prime drink. This confused me, and I read the article about the infringement. I knew that it wasn't the Olympics, so I knew that it wasn't actually the Olympic drink, but the wording really implies it here. Also, I want to be clear, I'm not a lawyer, but you should subscribe down below anyways and like the video as well, because I'm trying to hit 400K. Please and thank you. But I don't even have to be a lawyer to know that if a company or group sends you a cease and desist letter, you should respond to it pretty quickly. And it turns out Prime didn't respond for a full week, like at all. So that's why they're now getting sued. They had a full week to respond. They didn't stop operations. They didn't stop selling the drink. They didn't give them any communication at all. They just ignored them, according to these articles anyways. They might have responded and it wasn't mentioned or something like that. It's a possibility. But as of now, they haven't responded, which doesn't look good. Now, you're probably wondering, why does the Olympic Committee care so much? Like, Kevin Durant won those Olympic medals, right? So what's the big problem? Well, it turns out the Olympic Committee has an exclusive deal with Coca-Cola. So according to this lawsuit, they're not only using the Olympic name without permission or paying for the trademark, they're also indirectly affecting a deal that the Olympic Committee and Coca-Cola has, which is not good. Coca-Cola gets kind of scary when they get angry. Like, if I'm not mistaken, they used to basically be mobsters, and they probably still are to an extent, but I'm not a lawyer and I don't know for sure, so take that with a grain of salt. Editor me here, I looked up some Coca-Cola stuff, and yeah, they're still terrible, like really bad. So I just want to let you know, they're basically the human rights violation company, just so you know, and back to the video. Now, that's not to say I like Logan Paul, because I don't. Honestly, I'm pretty neutral in the sense of I don't like any of these organizations, except I guess the Olympics Committee. I'm like pretty neutral on that one. But with Coca-Cola, besides the human rights violations, they also sell Dasani, and that water is literally horrible. I made a whole video about it. If you want to check it out later, please finish watching this one first. But yeah, Dasani's terrible. Never buy it. The only reason you ever see Dasani water is because Coca-Cola pays a lot of money to keep it places. That's it. No one really likes it. It's just there because Coca-Cola pays for it to be there. So you basically have no other choice because no one would drink that willingly. Anyways, this lawsuit with Prime, the Olympic Committee, looks pretty bad for Prime. The term Olympic is their trademark and it's used in a way that would infringe on their trademark, especially on the Candy Cave store. It says Olympic drink. And as I said earlier, I don't know if they're an authorized reseller. This could just be a random website, but it also says Prime drinks at the top. So it kind of makes me feel like it's an authorized reseller. They have a whole section for it, and it's also cited by the Olympic Committee, so yeah, it doesn't look good. And let's be honest here, if there was no reason to put Olympic on the bottle, they wouldn't have put it on the bottle. It's definitely there to boost sales to some extent, so they know they're profiting off this name, or at least I would assume they know. Again, the lawsuit's not concluded yet. Just to be clear, these are all just my opinions, okay? I know Logan Paul can get a little lawsuit happy, so I'm just being careful here. But yeah, if it's on the bottle, they had to know it was gonna help in some way, because why else would you put it on the bottle? And I might not like Logan Paul, but he's a good marketer, okay? He knows what works, and this probably worked. And I have considered that this may be bait, because Logan Paul does stuff like this kind of a lot, but at the same time, that would also tie KSI into it, which also really wouldn't surprise me. I don't have any super negative opinions about KSI, but he definitely seems like the type to do anything for promotion or views. He's just a little out there. I could be wrong though. I'm just basing this off what I've seen online, but I have considered it being bait. And there is the potential that it is a bait lawsuit. And he's just using this as promotion because yeah, it's working. I'm talking about it, right? And not just me, of course. Everyone's talking about it. So there is a potential that this is just bait. But at the same time, the Olympic Committee, it was kind of a big deal. And they're exclusively partnered with Coca-Cola, who is also kind of a big deal. I'm kind of doubtful this is bait, guys. It's kind of serious. And if it's not bait, I don't know why they wouldn't just respond to the cease and desist and stop. Because if the Olympic Committee owns the trademarks, they definitely infringed on it a little bit, maybe. Just a hard maybe on that one. It's up in the air as of now because the lawsuit hasn't concluded. But yeah, this is interesting because I think they should have just dropped it. I really wonder why they didn't listen to the cease and desist. Maybe they just thought they weren't going to do anything. But like, I would also assume they had lawyers look over this and they probably approved it. And I don't know how a lawyer would approve this. They would have to know the trademark existed, right? Like, I'd be shocked if they didn't run this by a lawyer at all. Like, that would actually be a little insane. So yeah, they either think they're in the right or they're baiting a little bit. I mean, either way, they plan on winning the case, I assume. Like, they didn't respond to the cease and desist. If you assumed you were going to lose, you would have just responded and stopped. So they probably think they're going to win. But then again, The Olympics are coming up really soon, and this is probably going to be a pretty big headline. There is also the chance that this is like a cost of doing business thing. Really big companies will often just eat costs like this to do business. It's mainly a thing with government fines, not necessarily infringement, but maybe with the Olympics being so close, them putting Olympic on it would make way more money than if they just didn't, and it might be worth just paying a settlement fee or something. So who knows? Maybe it was a bait lawsuit. There's no way to tell. But I will say Logan Paul is a questionable character. I don't know much about KSI, so I'm just not going to talk about him. But Logan Paul, he's questionable. So ignoring all the stuff he did to start on YouTube, like faking his colorblindness and maybe walking in a forest a little bit, the dude recently was involved in a scam called Crypto Zoo. Now, it wasn't a flat out scam, or at least Logan Paul didn't quote unquote try to scam people. Basically, according to Logan Paul, he hired a bunch of people and they scammed him, and he's in it with you guys who got scammed, okay? You're all scammed together, even though he somehow got most of the money. I couldn't recap you on the full situation. CoffeeZilla made a really good video about it. He went into depth on everything, and in response to the video, Logan Paul sued him. And this is interesting because he sued him in Texas, and neither of them reside in Texas. That's interesting, right? So now you're probably wondering, why in Texas? Well, Texas doesn't have a law that prevents slap suits, and a slap suit is basically a lawsuit with no real merit. It's basically bogus. Now, I'm not saying Logan Paul picked Texas because of the slap suit law. I'm saying he probably did that. Yeah, he probably did that. Not 100%, but he probably did that. So CoffeeZilla exposed the Crypto Zoo scam that Logan Paul was heavily involved with. You could even say owned it, and then in response to that, Logan Paul thanks CoffeeZilla and then sues him. Yeah, I don't like Logan Paul very much right now. And honestly, it was kind of dumb to sue CoffeeZilla, because now on top of the Crypto Zoo NFT scam, people are talking about Logan Paul suing CoffeeZilla, which is an even worse look than just scamming people. So all that to say, yeah, I could see Logan Paul doing this as bait to get free marketing. I could easily see that happening. But at the same time, it really depends what happens from here on. If they actually try to battle this case like properly, I'm gonna assume it wasn't bait. But if it gets settled or something, I'm gonna assume it was bait. That's just my opinion though. And I mean, either way, Logan Paul, KSI, and Prime will probably all be mostly fine. They'll definitely take a hit. It really just depends on how much they pissed off the Olympic Committee. And they might have pissed them off a lot because the Olympic Committee doesn't get any federal funding at all. They only get their money through trademarks and selling the brand name. So Prime kind of went after their main source of income. And I'm sure Coca-Cola is especially not happy about this because they paid for the exclusive deal with the Olympics. And I am sure Coca-Cola already does not like Prime existing, period. Because like, remember, Coca-Cola doesn't just own Coke. They own like a bunch of other drinks. It's basically Pepsi and Coca-Cola. And Coke sells Powerade, also known as the drink you get when Gatorade's not in stock. Because seriously, who prefers this over Gatorade? I don't know a single person who does. It always tastes really weird. Honestly, every Coke product besides their soda just tastes really funky. But if I was Coca-Cola and I owned Powerade, I would hate Prime, because Prime would be eating into my market share, and my market share already sucks for sports drinks because who likes Powerade? Like seriously, it's like the Dasani of sports drinks. Also, have you guys tried Prime? Do you even like it? I tried it a while ago when they first came out, and I tried 3 different flavors. I forgot the exact flavors, but I think it was the green, red, and blue one. All of them did not taste very good, I'm gonna be honest. I think the drink's kind of overrated, I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, honestly, I have to give props where it's due. It is impressive they haven't taken on like huge drink companies like Coca-Cola. Like that's honestly pretty impressive. But at the same time, it doesn't taste very good. That's just my take though. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Twitter @spatnz1 and click the answers down. Check out more of my content and have a good one.